lovely readers. Thank you so much for everybody that has been following us and tuning in. Like my look, it's not about me today. It's all about Stacy Foundation, and it's also about Stacy Amewoyi and the great work that she's doing, impacting lives, just using so many different areas to reach the youth, to reach people who just want hope. And basically one way that she does that is education. She believes that education is just a great avenue for success. Education is a great booster for just getting to places that you might never get to. So with this being said, we continuing from The Price of Love, and basically I remember telling you guys that I have excerpts that I highlighted and that I wanted to speak on and give you a little cliffhanger so that those who are yet to read the book will know that this book has serious intellectual material in it, and that it needs to be read by so many people so people can benefit from it. So let's dive into it. We've already done 1 or 2, and today we're going to the section 3 of this. Alrighty. So the section 3 is going to be something very juicy. Everything in this book is juicy, but it's going to be juicier. And basically, let's see if I can find it. Okay, so the topic of this is, drumroll please. It says, bad habits of women in love. Bad habits of women in love. If you're a woman and you've been in love before, or you're in love, these are bad habits that you may already have exhibited, or bad habit that you might exhibit. So learning this and reading this book will give you insight on how to either not act like that, how to stop acting like that, or how to prevent yourself from getting involved with a woman who has bad habits as a male, from a male perspective. So let's go in. And after that, I think I'll do the bad habits that women and men have in love, because this is the women version, but I'll do the men version as well. All right, so this can be found on page 74 for those who like to read along, because I know there's so many people that watch this and actually follow along and actually take notes and, you know, try to analyze this from their own perspective. And those people, they're my people. They know who I'm talking about. So basically pages 74, and it's chapter 12 by Stacy Amewoyi once again, and it basically says bad habits of women in love. So it says, okay, it talks about key things that women exhibit that they need to stop. Let me just take a sip of water. I'm getting caught in my mouth. Okay, let's continue. So basically, one thing that women who are in love, they tend to do, and is bad, is that they neglect to discuss important issues. They neglect to discuss important issues. So what does this say? When I learned from this, it says that if you have a problem with your partner being a woman, do not overlook that problem because of love. Do not just be like, okay, I like this person, so I'm willing to just compromise my personality to fit them and to fit the situation. You can't do that, because number one, you're not being true to yourself, and number two, something that is neglected will grow and snowball into something bigger, and then you might have a bigger problem in the future, and you wonder where the problem started from. Meanwhile, the problem was showing roots when the relationship was fresh. So do not overlook little things or little issues. Do not overlook them at all. Don't neglect them. And then it says comparing your partner's negativity towards others. So do not compare how your partner is negative with how somebody else's partner is negative. Don't say that person A is this bad and my person is not that bad, so you know it's not really that thing. No, those two do not cancel out. If both partners are negative, then you're negative separately, and they all have different spouses to deal with. So you looking into somebody's relationship as a person from the outside will give you a wrong and a one-sided perspective. So the only person that really knows what they're dealing with is the person that is engaged or with them. So don't compare that negativity that your spouse has with another negativity of somebody else and try to see who's better or who's worse, or what they're doing and what I'm not doing, because that's not good. Comparison never leads to anything other than competition, unwanted competition, of course. Then it says here, being tardy, and I would like to read verbatim. It says, this is one of the worst habits mainly women are guilty of. Okay, it says, can you imagine how your partner feels when he has gone through the whole day and left his job, changing his meeting just so he can see you, and then he appears and you seem to be nonchalant an hour later? So basically, your spouse leaves work or move things around just to come and see you, and then an hour later you come and you appear to be nonchalant about it. Like nonchalant meaning act like you don't care, you're unfazed by, you're just there. It's actually very bad, and it's actually very ill for you to not reciprocate the same energy. If the person prioritized you first and they came to see you as a spouse, I feel like you owe it to them to give them back that same energy. Don't be nonchalant about it. Don't be cool about it. Don't try it. Some women, what I've learned from this book is that some women try to act a certain way just so they seem like they're not invested in a relationship, which is bad because it will backfire when the man finds out that you're not putting half as much effort as the person is, you know. And then it says spending a lot of money. There's this notion that men spend a lot of money on women, but when you flip the tables, when women are in love, they also unnecessarily spend a lot of money, and this section talks about it. So far we've mentioned neglecting to discuss issues that come up. We've talked about comparing your partner's negativity with others. We've talked about being tardy. We talked about spending a lot of money, and etc. Now we're going to continue, and we're going to talk about discussing things at the wrong time. And basically I highlighted certain thing right here, and I just said mood matters, meaning that the mood that you're in matters. If you have a problem with somebody or your spouse, please know the right time that you approach them. Don't do it when you're sad or when you're in a certain mood, because they might dismiss you and they might throw it off, or they might perceive what you're trying to communicate as an attack. So time matters and mood matters. And I'll just read it from here. It says, after work or on those days that your partner seems to be fixing with problems, those are not the right times to talk. Discussing is healthy, but you have to find the ideal time for both parties, which is best so that you don't generate further problems. Meaning that you have to find a time that both parties are willing to talk about it, so you don't generate more problems, you know. Because if you don't, and you do the opposite, and you go to somebody or you go to your spouse with a situation at the wrong time, they might even not even listen or hear you out. Because of the mood that you're in, they might just throw you off completely off course. So you don't want that to happen. And then it says lack of confidence in themselves, and this is a big problem because this book talks about how people get in relationships and they lose confidence for themselves. They lose that self-esteem, they lose that value. But the thing is, self-esteem is how your self-value is how you perceive yourself. So how come your definition of self-esteem includes how others perceive you? That's impossible. If others don't see you how you see yourself, well, that's their problem. Self-esteem has to do with you. It's an individual confidence thing. It's nothing to do with the outsiders. So don't even be less confident or feel a certain type of way or have low self-esteem because you feel like you don't measure up to what people think, because that's them and that's not self-esteem, right? Because self-esteem has to do with self. And then it says it says discussions in public. This is another thing that the book talks about. It talks about how women have this bad habits in a relationship of discussing their problems to outsiders in public. And also, like, let's say if your spouse has a problem with you, don't bring it out in the open and people are watching to cause a scene. Wait till you get home or somewhere where it's private so you can actually have a conversation and have like an intimate discussion. Not an intimate discussion in a romantic or sexual way, but in a way that's very real and true to how you feel. It's okay to express your feelings and emotions, but when you do it publicly, like maybe social media or when his friends are around or something like that, it's actually very rude and you're kind of like embarrassing the person, and they might even use that as a way to kind of like dismiss what you're trying to communicate. So please watch how you publicly discuss your situations. And it also says lying. Yes, men lie, women lie, but here this side is talking about how women should not lie, and we try to be transparent. You rather be loved for your flaws than to not be transparent and to hide things, and then you get caught up in a minute. Because once you get caught up, then the person is gonna disregard all the hard work you've put into the relationship because of what you're not transparent, because you lied. So basically, nobody likes a liar. And try your best not to lie. Try your best not to discuss matters in public, alongside all of these topics that I've discussed. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. And the last point, which I highlighted here, talks about how sometimes our perception of relationships, especially from the woman's standpoint, is from what you've seen your mother endure. So just because your mom endured X, Y, and Z does not mean that you're subject to the same things. If anything, it should be a learning standpoint, which she talks about on page 79. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll be doing a separate video with other things that I've learned so far, and I like that you guys are subscribing and commenting. I would encourage you to do more. Those who have not put on the notification bell, please put on the notification bell so you can see when I upload a video. Thank you guys so much, and make sure you go to staceyfoundation.org to check out what she does and to support her. Bye.